All right, boys, today we're going to be changing the strut, one of the front struts on a 2009 Chevy Tahoe. First step, take the wheels off. If you can't take the wheels off, this ain't a job for you. It is pretty simple though. There are three 18mm nuts on top. There's two 15mm bolts on bottom. And then there's an electrical plug, and I'll show that to you. I know it's all the way down in here, but you can see the sensor for the mine had the air ride, so that's the sensor for that. And then there's three. You can see one of the bolts right there, or one of the nuts, and the other one is right there, and then the third one, yeah, right there. So this is the passenger side. There's a few things in the way on it. They're just an AC line and heater hoses, looks like. So there's nothing too major. You can't get in there. So there are a couple. You can see right here. There's a wire loom clip on the tip of one of them. Just one. And like I said, here's that sensor. There's that sensor. You see, you pull these ears off and unhook it there. And then now you're ready to take these bolts off, or these nuts off, and the bolts off down below. All right, for mine, I'm going to use an 18mm with an extension, or with a universal joint extension, and just do it by hand. So give me a second, I'll take those three bolts off, or those three nuts out, and then I'll be right back to you. All right, you can see I've got the three bolts on top loose. I've got the electrical connector loose, and I've just got these two bolts down here to remove. All right, you can see the two spots. These are the two bolts. They are a little bit long-winded, but the head on these is 15mm, and the head on these bolts, or these nuts up here, that's 18mm from the factory. All right, since it's difficult to do with one hand, I've started this one through a few threads, and I'm gonna pop this with one hand, kind of pop it with my palm, and then hold these with my other hand. That way it won't just drop straight out the bottom. It won't fit out the bottom. It has to come out the top up here. All right, so you can see it comes out. Now we do have to save these little clips. They pop right out with a screwdriver. In just a second. All right, they pop right out with a screwdriver. And now you can transfer these onto your new strut. This is an R-Knot SK2954. So you clip these on the top side down here, and they can move around a little bit. That's just fine. You thread this aluminum spacer on top, or aluminum adapter, onto the shock, or the strut housing, or the strut shaft. I just figured it'd be easier for me to do that now rather than put the sensor on in a minute. But this will come up like this, drop in, and then I'm going to start a couple of the nuts here by hand, and then I'll show you how to put the bottom in. use the factory nuts or the ones that come with your new strut. Okay, it's a little bit off. See how it's a little bit off here? You can push down on the, you can try pushing down on it, but it's better to get a little pry bar. And pry down on it until you can slip those in. All right, guys, I used a tubeless tire bar and hooked that spoon end on the lower control arm bolt and pried straight down like this, and that's what allowed me to get this in. And then I slapped these clips on, and now I started the bolts. All right, I went ahead and tightened these 3 bolts. I went ahead and I actually did it from down here. I thought I'd have a little more room. So tighten these 3 bolts, and then you see that there is a sensor right here, and a cap and a bolt. It's an Allen head. I don't know what size it is, but I don't think it says anything on here. Looks like 4.5 millimeter. How about that? So you tighten this down into the threads in that, and then you plug your old connector in, and should be good to go.